inducted into our Hall of Fame from Haynesville, New Brunswick. She came to the sport late in her career at the age of 30. 10 years later, she defeated the #1 female arm wrestler in the world from Russia. She competed both left and right over the years, winning 18 national titles and 18 world medals. From 2001 to 2009, she was either national champion with either her right or her left arm continuously for those years. She was inducted in the New Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame in 2021. She was named Canadian Female Arm Wrestler of the Year in 1997 and 3-time winner of the Arnold Classic Arm Wrestling Challenge. She was inducted into the Canadian Arm Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2011. This year, our first recipient into the Hall of Fame, Joyce King. Okay, our next inductee wasn't actually an arm wrestler, but he did referee, and he was always there for his family, carting them around all over the world. They were in South Africa, and without him, they wouldn't have been able to make all these trips, taking his family. He would drive 5 hours from Fredericton to Halifax to help his wife get some training in with the Halifax team. That's a lot of dedication. You're doing it for your family, but still, that's a lot of dedication. Always made time for anybody willing to help out continuously. Our second inductee this year, Mr. Al King. Our last inductee for 2021 won 2 Atlantic titles, mainly because he didn't win more because he was always fooling with the bigger guys. However, he won 6 national titles, he won 1 provincials, 2 Atlantics, 6 nationals. He got a silver at the World Championships in 2003 and got a gold medal in 2019. Mr. Chris Scott.
I knew if I stayed long enough.
Unfortunately, 2 years ago, we lost Sylvia Ward. Is Eddie Bourque in the crowd here today? No. After Sylvio passed away, we came up with an award for him.
Folks, anybody in the room here probably was touched by Sylvio in some capacity, and Rick has something he wants to say about Sylvio, and I'm going to let him say that, but I was also prepared to say something about Sylvio as well. So I'm gonna say what I had planned on saying today. Unfortunately, in August 2021, everybody's jaws hit the floor when we learned of Sylvio's passing in a tragic accident last year at the age of 62. In a sense, Sylvio was Canada's Iron Man of arm wrestling. One thing you could always count on was you would see him at Nationals and you would see him at WAF Worlds each and every year. He went on to amass 26 WAF medals, which is a record, more than anybody in Canadian history. Sylvia Ward from New Brunswick. He got his start in 1978, won his first national title at the WPAA Canadian Nationals in Toronto the following year, In the early 80s, moved from New Brunswick to Alberta to train with John Miasnik and Tony Singer. And Rick Pinkney. Then he moved to Manitoba, where he got a chance to pull against many other artists before returning to his home province and becoming a fixture at various events held in Atlantic Canada. Sylvia is one of those few pullers who experienced Canada's biggest pro tournaments in the early days of organized sport development, including the Caroline O'Keefe World Championships in Timmins, Ontario, the North American Championships in Amos, Quebec, and the International Championships at the Gloucester Fair. He also hosted 2 very successful CAWF Nationals in 1999 and 2003. In 2005, Sylvio wasn't busy enough and took on long-distance running and proceeded to compete in dozens of marathons around North America. He's truly dedicated to his passions and is very severely missed. One thing about Sylvio, as Rick can clearly attest, is that he was a true friend, and in the sense of that word, he was always smiling. He was always smiling, and if you talk to somebody and they're always smiling, they're a great positive person. They're really good to be around. And one thing, when I've been involved in the sport for a number of years now, one thing I could always count on with Sylvio was just his positivity. I roomed with Sylvio when I got my medal at Worlds, and it was just, he medaled at Worlds, I medaled at Worlds. It was a huge thing for me. And he was always there. He was always such a positive person. Usually in a competitive sport like arm wrestling, where you're here to win. Everybody in this room is here to compete and win today. You could always count on Sylvio to give you that positive feedback. He was always, Mark, you're so strong, you're so fast, you're so this, you're so that. It was always positive. And I never heard Sylvio talk about other people in a negative way. And that's a really special thing today, is if you have somebody that's so positive and led life with his chin up all the time. But that's really, I mean, I can't say enough about Sylvio, and he's dearly missed.
So this award is in recognition of the years you've put into the sport. And when we first decided on this award, the first person that come to mind to win this award was a person Sylvio always looked forward to competing against. And that person is Chris Scott.
I was just thinking, when Mark was speaking, a word that I was thinking about, he was so humble. And he did that with everybody. We both had left-hand battles for years, and he always told me I was the best. Yet he beat me at times. You know, he was a great guy. And funny, thinking about this tournament, this week he was on my mind. He's not here.
He's here, buddy. You'll feel him when your arm goes down.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But anyway, yeah, I can't believe I'm the guy that got this. Because,
Yeah. Congratulations, Chris.
Can I just intervene? Can I pick the ones that were inducted together, and if I could just get a picture of them?
We've got one more award.
Oh, sorry.
Don't speak out of turn.
She told me about the three, I just
So, this next award, as we're all very well aware, the COVID-19 virus had spiraling effects for everybody in the world, and our sport was impacted just as others, and we haven't got a chance to get together in quite some time. So this award was actually developed for a gentleman who was in this room and has, like Sylvio, has done enormous things for the sport. Rick Pinkney began around the same time as Sylvia Ward in the early to mid 80s, building a sport in Alberta with the likes of Tony Singer, John Miasnik, the legends of the sport. We were very fortunate in Atlantic Canada that Rick came back home and started in 1985 Nova Scotia Armwrestling Association. So Rick Pinkney, his name is synonymous with arm wrestling pretty much in Canada, but certainly in Nova Scotia. Rick has been the president from its inception. He's really organized almost every tournament, except for maybe a handful in the province of Nova Scotia that you know, we're specific to other hosts. So in the past, you know, going on 40 years, Rick Pinkney has been Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling, and we're very fortunate that he continues to do so. He's amassed multiple national titles. He's taken silver medals at the Worlds. He's attended, you can see that for each, as a master referee, he's regarded as one of the best referees in the entire world. That super famous video on YouTube, everybody's into YouTube now, where Travis Bajan is smashing Alexi Bovada. Who's at the table? Rick Pinkney right with him, and over the top pulling John. So, not over the top, pulling John. Another arm wrestling movie.
2003.
There you go, 2003, that's right, Luke. So for each Worlds a master referee attends, they get a star on their shoulder. And if you see Rick's master referee shoulder, it is absolutely covered in stars. He's done so much. He knows everybody and anybody in the world of arm wrestling right now. If you mention Rick's name, they'll know exactly who he is and what he's done. So again, as somebody I can't say enough about everything he's done since my involvement in the sport. Pre-internet, it was phone calls. I was a young 19, 20-year-old in Cape Breton looking to get in the sport. I'd just call up Rick, and he would always give me the time of day. Beyond giving me the time of day, when I would travel as a student to Halifax for events, I would stay at Rick's house. I would stay at Rick's house before traveling to events together on the plane too, and just can't say enough about somebody when they've done so much for a sport I'm passionate about. And I think, even in Chris Scott's sense, you can go home now. You don't deserve to win anything more today, Chris. So, but one thing I would kind of close before I give this award out is it means a lot when you can see a competitor that's done so much and really consider them a friend first and foremost, and that's pretty important in this sport. So this award is it's appropriately named the Rick Pinkney Dedication Award, and the date is 2021. This award was presented to this gentleman prior to a very unfortunate accident. So Sylvio Bourque is the winner of this award, and this is not post Sylvio's passing. This is not a memorial award to Sylvio Bourque. Sylvio Bourque very deservingly won this award as most dedicated, as was said before. So Eddie Bourque, we were hoping was going to be here to accept this. I don't see Eddie in the room right now, but I'm certain there's somebody that in the room that can ensure. Oh, there's Dylan. There's Dylan. I'll present it to Dylan so he can pass it on to the Bourque family. And I know nobody's in the room, but like Perry said, I think we can all feel Sylvio in the room. Maybe give a round of applause for Sylvio. Dylan.